So I've completed the Tilley FL6 floodlight, and I've just bought something else to while away the hours on these long winter days. So I think you'll agree with me that what we have here is an almost mint example. Look at that beauty. Needs a little bit of work. That I'm pretty sure shouldn't be that colour. I'm assuming that should be copper, but that's all looks like it's in one piece. That's in one piece. We've got a tank with a glass that isn't cracked. Little bit of work needed doing on the tank. Around the back, I've already started putting some easing oil to try and loosen these because they're rock solid, and on here because they're rock solid. I'm not sure about these, whether these are original. They don't look dirty enough, but they might be, I suppose. Then up here we've got Tilley radiator model R501, Tilley, England, BS, can't quite read that. That all needs cleaning up. This looks like I've not come across that kind of pump handle before, so that might be an old one, a new one, I don't know. But it's got the tubular stand. I'm looking forward to this. Well, I'm starting to dismantle this PL501. So I've taken the burner top off. In that definitely needs a good old clean, but it has got the wire mantle on, which is good. The actual vaporizer itself is rusty, but maybe it will clean up if I can grind all that off. At the moment my issue is around the reflector, because I initially thought it had been painted by someone, but one or two people have said that this is actually a factory coating that's applied. Someone has suggested getting some Solvol Autosol, or it's called Autosol these days, and just cleaning it. But it is so filthy, I think the first thing I've got to do is to get a sponge, one of these scouring pads, and give it a bit of clean with that and see what happens to the water. And then what I might do is I might apply some Solvol Autosol, and maybe I've got a polishing mop that I might be able to, well, that's a little bit cleaner, I would say, with a bit of cloth, a bit of Solvol. See what we find. Taking the elbow grease out of the process. Well, I've just finished a mammoth polishing and cleaning session, so I had to degrease everything that the burner was on. Was covered in it's all like an oil. I suppose it was paraffin wax or something. So nothing would you couldn't really polish anything because it was all greasy, but I've degreased everything. I've got everything back to pretty much where I can. I can't take this handle off because it's riveted on, so I'm just going to have to mask that up, then spray that silver, so that says D-1217-0, and on this side it says BH. Don't really know what that means. Probably find out. That's, can't even remember what that was now. Got the pump. This is the vaporizer, and it was very, very pitted and rusty, and so what I've done is I've given it a very, very gentle go on the grinder, just almost not quite touching it and turning it, as you know, quite a lot, and that's all cleaned up nicely. We've got the top of the vaporizer, we've got the pump, we've got the pump handle. I actually thought this was so dirty, I actually thought it was painted gold, but it might have been, I suppose, but that's all come out quite nicely. Smooth silver. If you saw the video I made, the last one I made, which was restoring a Tilley FL6 floodlight, I used black hammerite, but I had to be quite careful there because that obviously gets pretty hot, and the only thing that's really going to get hot with this one is going to be the reflector. The tank's not going to get hot. So let me just show you the tank whilst I'm at it. So this tank was in a terrible state. Lots and lots of really bad pitted rust. I've got all that off, and that looks to me pretty good. Somebody suggested that I might give it a dunk test, which means pressurizing it and then putting it in the water to see if there's any little pinholes, but I don't know much about metal, but it doesn't look as though it's really pitted in that sense. So we'll see. So what does it say at the bottom? It says made in England, 106 or T060. Don't you drop it. Ta-da. Well, everything is in. Feels like a smoke room, smoking kippers. So they're all drying, ready to be assembled, and all the bits and pieces are also ready to be assembled. And I've just realised the real reason I make these videos, it's because when I put things back together again, I've got no idea the order in which they go. So I don't quite understand where that bit goes, for example. That is very similar to the FL6 base, only it's not nearly as chunky, and the FL6 has got 4 of these nut things. Absolutely freezing. I came up about an hour ago to get my heater working, and came up here just now and it had gone off. That wouldn't happen with a Tilley, would it? So I've relit it. I've got the kettle on the stove, and it's all warming up nicely now. So I've got it on full blast. So I'm going to be putting this back together. That's the plan. So, you caught me. Right, so I think I've got it right, only the wing nuts should go on there, and the dome nuts should go on there. Okay, right, so we've got that on nicely. What I'm just trying to work out is whether this goes that way around with the cutout at the front, or that way around with the cutout at the back. Ah, it's telling me it goes at the front. Right, I think we're there then. Fortunately, what I can't work out is where these little kind of spring things go. I've cleaned them up, but there seems to be like a little bit of that colour on there, so I'm wondering, having just dropped that one, never to be seen again. Well, these are super fiddly diddly, and having shown you how I thought they went, I put it on the other way round. So instead of being convex, it was concave, and as a result it didn't fit, but now that is fitting nicely. So that's all nice and vertical. That's all nice and vertical. It's a bit of a tricky one to tighten up, that one. I have to use a different screwdriver. And as soon as I get the last one from someone who shall remain nameless, Terry the Tilley man, it'll all be done. So let's offer this up. Two of them in. Right, so we've got those two in. Now let's put the why didn't somebody tell me I needed to put this on first? What? 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 What do we do? Take this off? I've lost my bottle. I'm going to leave it and dismantle the whole thing. When I said dismantle the whole thing, I was being a little bit, what's the word? Precious. I suppose the whole point of having wing nuts there is that they are pretty easy to take off. What? What? Think, Glenn, think. There must be one way of doing this. Ah, how about we take that off? Will it? Vaporizer needle jet came out. Don't panic, it's back in. Will this go on here? It will! Ah, fantastic. All is well with the world. Put this on. You muppet, other way round. And I do believe we're ready to put some paraffin in, check for leaks, and boom! Metaphorically speaking. And that will apparently run for 48 hours. So it says in the literature. room. Shake the room. That is lovely heat. As soon as the wing nuts have dried, I shall be putting it on the stand.